Not long ago, I was invited to a team who was in the beginning of a very, very important project. The type of project that could literally make or break the entire future of the company. So, no pressure. So, when I asked them how we could make this a kick butt, rip roaring, hell of a good time, and an absolute success, the strain and pressure of all of the possibility and expectations from leadership and our own wants and desires sort of got in the way and made that a less than fruitful brainstorm. So, one thing we did that helped sort of unlock creativity and get people thinking and get us into action was make use of the liberating structure TRIZ. So TRIZ helps us to stop counterproductive activities and behaviors in order to make space for innovation. So TRIZ basically runs on 3 steps, right? It's right here. It's on the web page. Make a list of all the stuff you can do to achieve the worst possible results, and with regards to your objective, goal, strategy, etc. Then go down that list and ask yourself, is there anything that we're currently doing that in any way, shape, or form looks like the items on that list? And then, to go through the items where you said yes, to brainstorm, all right, what are we going to do about it? How do we make sure we don't screw the pooch or we stop doing that thing that it could lead to total disaster? So, as awesome as this structure is, I find it can also be very challenging for some people to get into the headspace of creating a list that ensures the worst results possible. Most people sort of default into thinking what would happen if we if we had failed, which is okay, but it sort of misses the magic. So I created a bit of a write-up where we explore that. So as I've discussed earlier, invitations are the most critical portion of liberating structures, and I'm going to offer you my favorite hack for a great invitation for TRIZ. So with regards to your context, fill in the blank with your specifics, and you should be freaking golden. So as a social science studying human behavior, our research goal is to create a working environment that is so toxic that everyone quits. List all of the things you could do to create this hellish company culture. So what makes this invitation works is that it sets up this sort of hypothetical context where the goal of creating the worst possible outcome actually makes sense. And in that way, what we're doing is we are creating this imaginary context that kicks us into an action orientation in order to achieve this goal. And this is really what gets the creative juices flowing. Plus, the invitation turns everybody into a mad scientist, which is pretty awesome, right? Wubba-lubba-dub-dub. So give this a try and let me know how it goes. As a matter of fact, my dude David Fox was inspired by this invitation, and this is what he came up with remixing my remix. So you are a super evil genius, hell-bent on disrupting end-to-end testing. Your goal is to create a working environment that is so dysfunctional that end-to-end testing never completes. No sanity shall ever be reached. What would you do to create this hellish team culture? As a bonus, come up with a funny supervillain name and create a list of as many things your supervillain could do to disrupt end-to-end testing so badly that it never, ever completes. Be inventive. Try to be funny even. Remember, you are super smart and super evil. So the addition to this supervillain name just really helps us in this idea of world building and creating this context where action towards creating shitty outcomes makes sense to people, right? We're helping to create a context where we have a permission slip to be dastardly and to be nasty, to be, a cartoonish character. And it reminds me to mention that this is actually the first step in TRIZ, right? Remember, the whole purpose of this initial invitation is to give us a laundry list of stuff that is interesting to discuss in the following steps. And that conversation drives us to insights of risky behavior that we should stop, or particular possibilities that we want to actively hedge against and make sure we don't fall into that. In this context, it turned out that a lot of really foundational stuff was sort of came to the surface super easy, and the team ended up crushing the goals and ended up having a super successful collaboration with the end client that did in fact change the entire direction of the company. So good on them. So this should be more than enough to make you dangerous. So get out there and put this to use. The power is yours. Again, my name is Jeremy Akers, Jeremy Nathaniel Akers. Thanks for your time, attention, and energy, and cushious.